are your 3 overall education priorities that, in a perfect world, you would accomplish during your time in office, and how would you go about achieving them? Please share with us why are these the most important.
Thank you. I don't know that there'll be 3, but I'll give you as many as I can right now. So I would think the first thing is starting is with kids who are deemed to be marginalized. I believe the math, as we were looking at earlier, is somewhere between 70 and 75% of the kids in our district fall into that category. That is the rule. That is not the exception. It's 75%. But if you look at how we as a culture interact, is we create things to support the masses, not the exceptions. We don't focus on the development of the people who fall outside the scope. But here, the scope is the majority is outside of what we perceive to be the people who need the most support. 25% of our, here's a good thing. Remember, the 80-20% rule. 80% of behavior problems in your class are caused by 20% of the students. So think of the similar math, as we have 75% of our kids are marginalized, and they're getting what percent of our attention and our focus in trying to help them get to the next step in their lives in a way that inspires confidence and allows them to attach themselves into something that they love, so that can drive them to become, drive them to find things that they love to do, which, I've learned that it's important to love what you do, or you're going to get lost. I took too long on that one. I talked about CTE programs and trying to invest more resources there. I think we need to get more customized with our education. Going back before, our kids can, my kid is an expert in dinosaurs. I could have spent like my entire life trying to research dinosaurs, but he somehow knows 20 different types of dinosaurs. He's 4. I know we're not teaching dinosaurs necessarily, but the point is we have the ability to take little nuggets of information like that and actually see where that goes. Instead of just giving our kids education out of a book, something that's institutionalized, curriculum, yeah, that's 2. I'll give you a third one. You can go to my website. I'll give you the URL.
Is it my turn?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness, I love this question too. God, you all are on fire here. Okay, so we have done so much amazing stuff in this almost 6 years that I have been on the board. Our board has done amazing work in making sure that we create an employee-friendly organization, in making sure that we close achievement gaps and opportunity gaps for our students. We have turned around our district from being a dysfunctional, toxic district to being a district that was actually one of the top honor boards in the state of Texas. We were recognized across the state for the work that we have done. So that's some amazing accomplishments. Now, we still have work to do. I know that we can do even more for our employees, right? Ms. Keller did amazing work in revising some of our policies and initiatives, and they were amazing and rewarding for our employees. But I know we can do more, and we will do more. We still have some more ideas, like making sure maybe changing our grievance timeline to maybe adding some days on there. Also, we need to accelerate learning and provide the supports that our teachers and staff need to do that. Because it's not just about putting more work on our teachers, but actually providing those FTEs that they need. And that's something that we're looking at this budget cycle, seeing where we can add interventionists, where we can add more supports. And also mental health is a huge issue. Nationally, our suicide rate has gone up, and we have seen it impact our own district. So we need to make sure that we get the therapeutic counselors needed to help support our students, utilize our Hayes Hope line, and there is work still that we can build upon. We have done so much, and we can make it even better together.
Okay, so there's a lot in this question as well. The three education priorities, I feel, is like we came out of a really, really hard past few years for our teachers and our district staff. I think it's really important that we get to a normal, more of a normal back-to-school learning environment for our kiddos, especially for our teachers. I mean, we were asking our teachers to do things that really had nothing to do with education, and now it's time for us to get back to letting our teachers do what they do best instead of teaching our kids, right? That's a huge priority, I think, for this next year. I also think, delivering resources from an educational standpoint is also going to be important as it ties to the fast growth that we're seeing within the district. There's a lot of resources, there's a lot of facilities, things that are going to be needed to be delivered on time and when they're needed going forward, especially as fast as we're growing. We've got to be able to support that throughout the district. And the other education priority, CTE, what we're going to do with our kids when they're done with high school, from college readiness to CTE programs to the military, having some sound structures for all kids, no matter what path they're going to take when they leave high school. They have some choices here at ACISD that they can lean on, that they can strive to, that works to fit within what they're able to do going forward. So those are probably some pretty big priorities I have to do. I'm sure there's a million more, but those are the ones that I've got right now. Thank you.
Thanks for bringing up the college prep work that we do here. This is great. There's a program called AVID. I don't know if you guys remember. It existed. It was amazing. I think there was something about $3 million in scholarships. Fantastic, amazing work. It really provided some amazing opportunities and supports for kids that really needed it. It disappeared overnight. The parents got maybe a day, maybe a week at max notice that the program was disappearing. That was the board and Dr. Wright's decision, and that was a mistake. It shouldn't have disappeared. There are a lot of kids that fell through the cracks, who don't have the supports they need, who didn't get to go to college. Also, Con Mi Madre, that program needs to expand. There were cohorts that were supposed to be added that were not added. That needs to be expanded. They're amazing programs. Also, I'd like to just address that suicide rate statistic is incorrect. The suicide rate actually during COVID went down. That's out by the CDC, all of the data that they collected. Okay. Safe and equitable education. I could talk about equity for days and days. The truth is that we have massive work that needs to be done. There's been maybe the tip of the iceberg that's been discussed. There's so much that needs to go into that, from the educators to the students to the community. We've got a lot of work to do, and I hope we get to talk about that more. Thank you.